listening to Inside Real Estate, your source for all things mortgage and real estate related. The show that brings you all the hottest topics and insights directly from those who know it most. Now sit back and enjoy the show.
Sit back, enjoy the show. Whether you're a top or a bottom, it doesn't matter. Welcome to Inside Real Estate. I am Paul Poslakis. We've got Salvatore Cusmano. We've got Brad Weisgerber. I want to thank everybody for liking, subscribing. It really does help us out quite a bit. So if you do listen to the show, we have had over 23,000 downloads, guys, and it just keeps getting bigger. I don't understand why people download us, but it's interesting. It's wild, right? Brad, what's wild is your ever-changing look. Are we going for broke and homeless, or what?
Bro, I don't know. I haven't gotten my hair cut in a while, and it's starting to kind of grow on me. No pun intended.
I think intended, actually.
You're gonna grow it. You're gonna grow it out. Get a flow.
I think I might. I don't know. I haven't decided yet.
You just skated 4 hours on the ice.
Yeah,
kind of like that. Like,
yeah, dude. It looks like you're part of the Red Wings, or on the street somewhere. So,
we'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens. I don't know how much poorer you can look.
I mean, one day I might show up all done up, it might be done.
You have never showed up done up, my dude.
I have before.
All right.
So today we got Sheel on the show. He's a great partner of ours. He's one of the, in my opinion, he does a really good job marketing himself. He's done a really good job in the local industry. Sheel, welcome to the show and welcome to 2021. What up, my dude?
How you doing, guys?
Good, man. Good. So I'm excited to have you on the show today. Obviously, we're going to talk real estate with you. I mean, that's what you do. You're good at it. I know that you've kind of taken to TikTok. I wanted to talk to you about your TikTok game.
Yeah.
I really want to talk to you about your TikTok game. So that'll be interesting. And then obviously we'll talk about the market and whatnot. But let's start with you, Sheel. How is 21 different than 20 so far for you?
21 out the gate is definitely totally different, completely than what I thought, because 2020 was a good start to me.
Yeah.
But come like our end of our first quarter, like March, it's like, what the fuck is going on with the world?
Yeah.
But 2020 was kind of like the opposite effect, because people send me these things like, oh, I think the market's going to slow down, or like whatever. Well, Michigan market is an animal of its own. So and I know you guys are probably busy already out the gate, just the way you guys operate, but realistically speaking, I'm having an amazing month, and I can't believe that inventory is still on the lower side.
Yep.
It's starting off amazing for me with well over 3 million pending. So I'm happy.
Wow, bro. That's awesome. That's congratulations. I mean, it is interesting. Sal, we had our best month ever in December of our business, which is so atypical from a real estate standard. Like I've never in my career, I've said this before, so it is an interesting market, Sheel, to your point. Normally it's quiet in January, in December, right? It's like people they start moving maybe in February, March, April, right here in Michigan. That's just the way that it always works.
I was on the beach,
Yeah. Yeah, you didn't have much to do.
And the fact that my phone started ringing the last day of vacation, it was just amazing to me. So I was literally already, my whole weekend was planned. The Thursday I got back at nighttime. That Friday morning was insanely busy for me. And I think what was lucky, though, is that from January 1st, probably in the second week almost, it was that break period. People were traveling because everyone just had to get the hell out of here. Yeah. Even when I went on January 2nd to the airport, which was a Saturday, I was so shocked to see how packed it was. It was insanely packed, especially for international flights, that the TSA just said, take your bags to the gate. That's how late we were running. And I took two TSA big bags.
Big bag. You're like big bags. The
big
movies,
bag,
bro. The movies were getting lugged.
Everything got examined, but it was fine. And I like that. Now it told me I was a little bit more comfortable because I thought I was going to breeze to the airport.
Because nobody would be in there, right? That's interesting that you say that, because I feel like you're right. There's going to be a huge population, Sal, Brad. I think you guys even feel this, that are ready to just move the fuck on. From the whole COVID thing. The only thing that I'll tell you about 21 so far for me is it didn't feel so different in the sense that nothing really changed in that aspect. We're still all kind of locked down a little bit. We're still but it does feel like people are starting to be like, all right, the vaccine's out. I'm going to start moving around, dude. I'm sick of just sitting in.
There's a lot of people who got the vaccine. I was shocked to see it come. So I'm happy now it's here, and I know that it's still going through the healthcare industry right now. I don't know.
My wife's a teacher. She's getting it. She's an educator.
I'm really happy to hear that.
Yeah.
Two of them, right? There's one, and then you get another one right after.
You get 2 doses of which it's like a double dose of. You got to do 1 dose and you do another dose.
Those second doses now, which is always good to hear.
Yeah. They deployed that shit fast. Let's be honest. Yeah. Let's see if anybody grows horns though. Sal, you gonna take the vaccine?
I mean, I guess everyone is, right? I mean, it's kind of like what you. I feel like it's going to be to a degree like your standard, right? Like your passport to society. You know, I mean, have you been vaccinated, right? I think that could be potentially a thing, but I mean, it's interesting. You know, to your point, Sheel, with the travel, right? I mean, every state is different, right? And what they're doing as far as like locking things down and not, and like traveling to even just like Florida, right? I mean, it's like normal, you know, minus wearing a mask, like when you walk around inside, but short of that, it's like, whoa, I remember this. It feels good.
I remember this. I remember humanity and how it actually was at one point, right?
But, and then to your point, right? Like the first was a Friday, right? And then Saturday, Sunday. That Monday, phone was just ringing.
Yeah.
You know? And I think it kind of setting the tone to the rest of this year. It's busy so far.
I know it's busy when I'm getting a lot of calls for refinances and purchases myself because I'm not actively writing loans, right? And when my phone starts ringing, and I'm not like I'm not in the game like that, like I used to be. I'm more running like shit like this, right? But when I start getting phone calls and I'm getting people like, hey, and they're like, we know you guys do a good job. I need your help, or like, hey, I need you to refinance. It's like, okay, it's busy, bro. And then we're gonna. So, Sheel, do you agree with our sentiment? Well, my sentiment that 2021 is probably going to be a banger of a year.
I think so too. I mean, right out of the gate, it's going well, and I know a lot of people are still on the fence, like, oh, I want to wait till the spring market or maybe the summer market.
Bad move.
Those guys, I'm telling them to be proactive. And that's like probably one of my free tips I'll give you guys. It's like to the realtors listening, is that realistically you want to make sure you reach out to the people who told you that, because they're going to need a little bit more time than wait until then. They're going to be really proactive and start house hunting now, at least getting familiar with the market enough so that when they come see their dream home on Zillow.
I'm glad you brought that up, Sheel. So talk to me why that's important. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like, so I can personally tell you that I've already reached out to all my database about 2021, and I've already told them that there's no time to like just waste. Like house hunting can be fun, but it's not going to be fun right now because most of the people who are seeing houses generally are very serious people looking to buy. And I firmly believe this just because I had listings that were kind of coming in from 2020 that are all now actively pending.
Yeah. So, yeah. You know, it's one of those things like you said, house hunting, right? While it might be less fish in a barrel and more like in the woods, and you might or might not get a deer for like days, right? Because it's the scarcity is that high. The volume of properties on the market is still low compared to the people that want to buy. And I don't see that changing. We keep talking about this. It's very odd. Sal and Brad, we've talked about this on a show a million times. It's like, how long can this last? How long can the shortage last? How long? And then you'll see little ups and downs. What do you think? Do you guys think there's anything that can break this cycle of not having enough inventory because the demand just keeps not going away? Or do you think it's just based on like, well, if rates went up, would we see less demand? I guess, right? Or if COVID opens up, will everyone put their house on the market, right? Like, do you see anything kind of changing with that stuff, or do you just see inventory being low for a long time? Brad's out.
I mean, I think there's probably like a 3-month delay from like what actually happens, right? Like if rates started to go up today, I feel like people wouldn't really realize that or start to hear it for probably like March. And I think that might be a trigger to people saying, oh, all right, like that's kind of the tipping point, right? Like we better hop on ship and if we want to make a move, right, and get in these low rates, do it now. So I think probably, I mean, granted, I'm shooting in the dark because, I mean, what do I know, right? But like, I would think probably I think the summer is going to be huge because I do think that rates are probably going to go up a little bit and trigger that like snowball effect of people wanting to hop on board and sell before the rates go way higher. Right?
Sheel, are you seeing a lot of investors coming into the market again?
It's just now, like in the last couple of days, most of my showings have been for investors looking for rental properties, and
Really?
who actually own a good amount of rental properties. I also like encourage people to go on it. Typically, my rule of thumb is I like to tell people you want to get at least 1% back. For example, $100,000 house, $100,000 condo, you at least want to lease that out for $1,000 a month at minimum. But generally now, the upside is the people who have good rental properties that have flowing tenants or just consistent revenue, they get to sell it at a little bit more of a premium. For example, like a $150,000 condo is typically leasing out for $1,300. So you're not really seeing that 1%, but over the years, the way I tell people is just look at the previous history and see if it's going to hopefully increase throughout the many years. But positive revenue. So I still encourage my investors to house hunt with me just because it's better to do it now than later.
Yeah. And it's interesting. It's funny because we thought, well, the rental market's going to get hit pretty hard with the forbearance and the jobs and blah, blah, blah. Why aren't we seeing that?
Yeah, I don't know. It's just housing. Good housing is always tough to find. And I think that surrounds that whole topic. It's just the fact that you won't be able to, if you find something that makes sense, even if it's a little bit on the premium side,
right?
It still may make sense for as the consumer or the buyer to move on it versus trying to find the next one. Because either way, that's going to get gobbled up. And that's how I tell everyone on inventory. Even some of these light renovations like fresh paint and carpet, it's going to get gobbled up no matter what. Because
especially now, it's expensive to do that shit now.
Well,
it is, yeah.
If you were if you owned a rental property and your tenant couldn't pay, but it, had a mortgage on it, I mean, you could throw that into forbearance if you wanted to.
Good.
Kind of pass the buck to the servicer,
Right.
So, I mean,
we're not recommending that to anybody.
No. But I'm saying, instead of obviously people, going into foreclosure or whatever, right? Let's say you're highly leveraged on all your rental properties. That same, rent forbearance applies to the mortgage, so it's really, washes all out. No one's going to really lose.
Right. It's interesting. I feel like the demand for multifamilies has gone up too. Like multifamily demand is through the roof, bro.
Yeah, I can't even find it.
You can't find it. Yeah, you try to get a duplex right now.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. They're all gone.
Outside the Metro Detroit area, it's almost near impossible to find.
No, man. Like me, you might find some in Westland, but that's hard. Like we had my mother-in-law has one. We bought it a few years ago. They're very lucrative because you've got 2 units in one, right? It's really smart to do it that way. If you can get a 2, 3, 4 unit, and it's still residential rates, right? It's still and really, if you get a 4 unit and live in one of them, that's really
that's good. Yeah,
you know what I mean. Then it's your primary, and your rate's like 2.5% or 3%. And you've got 3 units, pay whatever it is, right? So it is a smart move if you can find them. They're not easily found right now at all, are they?
Yeah, a premium if they exist. So
yeah.
I would never want to live in one of the units in a 4 unit that I rent the other 3. It's like shitting where you eat. You don't want to do that, right?
From a financial standpoint, it's really smart. I'd rather have 4. I'd rather have 4 units giving me income than 3. Well, yeah,
but if you're going to buy
if it's your first property, let's say it's your first property. Go ahead, Sal. Sorry.
I was going to say, like a lot of maybe like first-time home buyers, things of that sort, right?
Yeah.
You can put 3.5% down on a 4-unit FHA.
Sure.
And then
you buy it as an investment, you got to put 25% down. So. Right.
You get 3 investment properties in your primary residence. It's a slam dunk. Tell them it's a slam dunk, Sheel.
It's a slam dunk. I mean, realistically, while you sleep in that bed, I think it's a slam dunk. I do agree. Obviously, having that other one leased out is good, but you have to live somewhere yourself too. So unless you're living at mom and dad's house or the roommate's house, then realistically, it makes sense.
If you're a first-time home buyer,
mortgage or rent, whatever.
I'd rather live in a van down by the river than have to do.
You look like you live by the river, dude. It looks like you live there now.
That's funny,
man.
I'm not laughing at you. I am. So Sheel, talk to me about your TikTok game. So listen, man. I'm not saying it's a game changer. I know it's a lot of fun. Like it's mostly a lot of fun, right? But I do believe there's a space in TikTok for real estate agents because you guys have actual like a mortgage guy on TikTok can't do shit. Like, what am I going to do? Rates. I mean, there's nothing real estate.
I think I've come across some really, I call it TikTok University now. I got Stock Talk, which is like I'm learning all.
I have Stock Talk. Yeah.
Stock Talk. I got the TikTok University. There's a lawyer guy I follow who literally goes crazy with the laws.
Oh, I love it. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so, shut the fuck up.
If I go back to like March of last year when I think this all started, the shutdown, everyone was telling me like TikTok's gonna blow up. Like everyone, my brother, my girlfriend, or not my girlfriend at the time, but earlier this year she told me to get on it. And then I said, you know what? They were bombarding me about it. Like, you need to be on TikTok. And I thought it was just kids, you know? So get on TikTok. Next thing you know, one video overnight just goes viral with like 500,000 views. And then
it just takes one video, bro. I haven't had anything go viral.
What do you do in your video? Do you do the goofy dances, or do you like show houses?
No.
Purely like I show real estate. Like I really show properties like to its full extent. I think my editing is probably part of the best of it.
Yeah.
And, I decided that like, my Instagram page is really like personally business, really.
Yeah.
Not too much personal stuff here and there. I like to show my girlfriend off on it a lot because I like her. So good content. But outside of that, like I use TikTok for that as well. And I show a little more on my personal side, but also
it's more creative.
Yeah,
it really is. It's more creative. It's more boisterous too. You can be boisterous on it, right? Like you'd be like, check out this $3 million house, right? It's a little bit. You can throw music on it. I think you've done a great job with it.
You just it too, actually.
Some guy smashed the shit out of you though. He was like,
I watched it, and then two people sent it to me. It's like and then I even saw the comments. I was like, thank God this guy's not talking really directly about me. He's just talking about people who live in Royal Oak.
Yeah. This guy, Sal, did you see that? I sent it to you, Sheel. I'm like, man, but you got to expect that. That's what people don't get. Like if you put yourself out there, for all the real estate agents out there that are listening, or anybody in any profession where networking is important, putting yourself out there is uncomfortable. It doesn't matter what you're doing, whether it's walking into a room and talking to a group of people or putting up a TikTok. There are going to be people that are going to be talking poorly about you, regardless, because that's what people do. But guess what? They're talking about you.
There's people that call you homeless. There's people that call you look like you're going down the river. It just doesn't matter. You got to be comfortable in your own skin, right? And just own it. Fuck it.
It's really because I've gotten reached out so much, and here's the revenue part of it, right? I've actually got a client from it who's on check right now, which is great, and two of them who are pending to get approved, and also hopefully look for their next house soon. So
TikTok, the real estate magic maker, man.
Yeah, like someone actually, a listing I have coming up is from TikTok, and the way it happened was the kid showed the parent the house.
Yeah.
They just reached out to me.
He's like, Mom, Dad, check out this TikTok. What the fuck is TikTok? I don't know, but there's a real estate guy on here I want you to look at. So I was on TikTok in 2018, real early, like on it, like, and I just watched this. When I first got on TikTok, it was just Asian girls doing dances the whole time. That's all it was. Was just because Americans,
right?
What's that?
I think it was all created in that area.
It was all, it's a Chinese company, I think, right? So it's like all these Asians would be like doing these dances, and I was like, man, this is really captivating. You spend hours, dude. You guys ever like you Sal and Brad don't really TikTok, but with TikTok, dude, you turn that thing on. Next thing you know, it's like 4 a.m, and you're like, damn it, like what happened in the last 2 hours?
I stay away from TikTok at nighttime.
Yeah, you have to. So what's that?
It's a scrolling effect. That has really like generated my personal brand on Instagram is a lot too, because a lot of people who are outside of Michigan have reached out to me from there.
Yeah,
it's crazy how like you can get like just a good following.
Yeah, I mean, look, listen. Any way that you can market yourself. Listen, you got 500 views on one of your TikToks, right? 500,000. Sorry. You can't get in front of 500,000. Like this show is not going to get in front of 500,000 people. You know what I mean? So your face got in front of 500,000 people.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, for sure.
Think about that. That. That's pretty wild. Sal, I feel like you should get TikTok. You'd be a great TikToker.
I'll try. Show people's W-2s,
right?
Stubs.
Right.
Check out those guys' tax returns.
So Sal, I mean, rates did tick up this past week a little bit, right? And they've been very low. I think they went up like a point, really. So it's a pretty insignificant, not a percent, a point. So people understand it's not a full percent.
A point in cost, yeah.
Yeah, a point in cost, which is 1% of your loan amount. So if it's a $200,000,
they went up about an eighth of a percent.
An eighth of a percent, right? There you go.
275, it's 2875 now, right?
Okay. So it's not that big of a deal, is what you're saying.
For the first time in a while, right? But I think everyone's freaking out, or at least on our side of things, right? Like we feel it because you might have a client in process who's not locked in. Right. And
now you got to tell them they're eighth higher.
Or eat it.
Right.
But in reality, if someone calls me today and they're like, yeah, I'm at a 375.
Yeah.
You get 2875, like almost shave a percent off your rate. It's It's a good time right now, right? Still to do a mortgage. I mean, it was a great time 3 months ago when rates were 2.99 or 3, and even earlier this year when they were 3 1/8 or 3.5. I mean, that's cheap money, right?
I mean,
I mean, today, like, looking at the bond and whatnot, it's a little bit down. So who knows? I mean, there's so much volatility right now. It's hard, you got to have that conversation with people. Like, hey, if I knew the future, I would have been like, I would have owned the resort Sheel was at, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah, you're not the Oracle, right? But
right. But I have a feeling that there's probably more safety in locking in, than rolling the dice right now. I mean, it's 275 or whatever it is. Like, you should take it.
The analogy I use is it's like taking a balloon underwater. The deeper you go, the more pressure there is for it to go up. We're pretty deep in the water right now. There's got to be some pressure for it to pop up a little bit, right? So just be aware of that. But then again, the market is so effed up. Yeah, you could pop the balloon. You know what I mean?
Well, I think the biggest worry for me with the market, and I'm sure this has more of an effect on like mortgage rates and whatnot instantly than it would on like the real estate market. But the stock market is
really overblown. Yeah, it's really it's really overblown.
There's some type of correction, right? I don't know.
Is there? We've been saying that. I don't know. What do you think?
Honestly, the stock market, I would say, has just been, for me, it's been progressing pretty well, luckily. But like, I do foresee the correction coming. It's only days on days. I mean, you can't just hope for Daddy Elon to support you the rest of the year,
That Tesla's good for people.
I mean, it's so crazy what you see individually too with stock to stock. I mean, companies posting huge record numbers and their stock is just getting manipulated. It's all investor owned. It's all, I mean, all these investors are just manipulating the piss out of the market, and little guys like me throwing their tokens in the market are just getting smashed. Yeah. And in some regards, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So other people are doing really well, right? But I mean, I guess that's the horses you choose, right? But the Tesla thing is nuts.
Nuts.
Yeah. Especially sports, but it's like,
I mean, the whole market's kind of nuts. I thought the market was going to have some sort of correction with the second impeachment, the transition of power, everything that's happening right now in our country. I thought the market was going to react negatively to it, and I thought we're going to get a correction. It's gone the opposite way. It's gone up, which is, I don't understand it. I don't understand it at all.
I think with the advent, I know this is going to, a lot of it is institutional money, and Sheel, maybe you have some thoughts on this, but I think with the advent of people being home, young investors, yes, they're not like institutional investors, but you all these kids with Robinhood in their pocket, they could go on and buy plug, right? That adds up. It really does add up. It doesn't matter if it's just a regular person. It's no longer the institutional investor. It's no longer the guy that has.
Yeah, if you wanted to trade stocks before, you'd have to call a broker, deposit money, right? And then,
right.
Now anyone could buy Tesla, right? And dude, its fucking market cap is like bigger than all of the other auto manufacturers combined, which is absolutely nuts considering the amount of vehicles they have on the road, right? But it does show you to a degree what people are investing in, right? Because they're so far.
I don't think people are investing in companies. Well, they are investing in companies, but they're looking at these stocks as a store of value, Sheel. That's what I think. I think people
correctly too. That's the problem.
What's that?
Not really doing it correctly. They're seeing so much like marketing behind one company.
Yeah,
that's how you invest in a stock. I personally believe that my effect is that I invest in companies I really believe in.
Right.
That I should do well, and then for the upside, they actually end up doing okay.
Yeah.
But, like if you just see like Stock Talk, like it can actually lead you in the wrong way sometimes.
I've taken a tip off Stock Talk and made money on it.
I mean, I have honestly, I have a lot.
Yeah.
Just gotta do your homework to like a full extent.
Yeah.
Just download Robinhood and then start investing today. Invest tomorrow after watching videos.
Well, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Take $100, right, and go play around and like learn how to do it. But like, dude, these kids that are like young are going in and they're like, oh yeah, plug. Oh yeah, this, and they're buying stocks en masse, and they have these kids that used to go to the bar and get fucked up with their money. They don't have to go to the bar and get fucked up anymore.
Nice.
There is excess money in our world due to the fact that people are at home. They're not going out like they were. They're not traveling like they were. So that money is on some level being directed in other places. And part of that is the stock market. The other part of it is like Bitcoin and all that shit, right? And that's having its day. So it just goes to show you, Sheel, like how much money is spent on recreation in our country. When you pull that away, I talk to a lot of people that are like, man, I got more money in the bank than I've ever had because I haven't done anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it is interesting what's happening with that. But to your point, Sal, there's got to be some type of like once let's say one big institutional investor pulls out of Tesla, they'll see a free fall for a little bit, until it hits a resistance. So it'll be interesting. I think housing prices, Sheel, are going to is a great investment. Real estate is, in my opinion, the healthiest investment right now because there is such a demand supply inverse, right? We're having a big supply issue whenever, like, if something is scarce, the price is going to go up if there's demand, right?
Especially when the last, I think, 6 months, the 3 million plus club has had the best days ever.
Yeah.
Up to see how many houses have been purchased and sold in like 2.5 million range.
Yeah.
Simply because like people are taking their money off of other investors and then just throwing it at real estate, which I think, freely speaking, has been always one of the best investments you can make in your life, which is real estate.
It is, because it is, for historically speaking, it is pretty recession proof. It performs best in recession cases, except for 2008, where we had the whole financial crisis was based on the housing market. But our market is way different today, and it will perform well even if we had a recession, a major recession or correction. Dude, if your house, like if you buy a house today, everybody's like this. Well, there's gonna be a correction, and the feedback I get sometimes is like, well, I'm gonna wait till they go down. Well, dude, it doesn't matter if you wait. If you're going to live in the house, you're going to get equity in that house. The only thing that's going to happen is rates might be higher, and it might be even harder to find a house, right? Like, and people aren't going to be selling. Like, if you're looking to buy a house in the spring, you should start looking absolutely right now. And if you find the right house, you should jump on it, because it's
people
harder.
Fail to realize too like you said, real estate's one of the best investments, but like, if you have a loan against it, it just takes a lot longer on a higher rate to actually build that wealth or that equity. Right now it's nuts. You look at like an amortization schedule for 4.5% versus 2.5%. What's that look like?
Hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Years, right?
Yeah.
So,
that's a great point.
It was interesting that I helped someone actually. They were looking for a rental property, but they had the cash to put down on a mortgage. So they ended up actually purchasing for 2 years. Like, they lived in the house for 2 years.
Yep.
Or about 2.5 years, and then sold it. Well,
Yep.
they're paying a lot less than they would be paying for renting.
Yep.
It was revenue generated for them when they sold it, as the property values.
It's a proven fact, Sheel. Home ownership leads to more wealth. There's no way around. And in today's world, where it's a perfect storm, where you're not only are you getting the appreciation, right? Not only are you living in a home and not renting and burning that money, you're actually paying down principal. But on top of that, you're paying very, very low interest rates. So it's like a perfect storm for real estate. There's no real drawback in investing in real estate, especially if you're going to be there long term. If you think you're going to be in a house for 5 years, this is like beautiful, because there's no way you're going to get a better rate, and you're going to make money over that 5 years, right? So what areas, Sheel, what areas in Michigan are you seeing that are hot right now?
Anything off the Woodward corridor, whether it be Royal Oak, Berkeley. The Ferndale market's still performing well, which I thought was one that was kind of decreasing a little bit.
Yep.
And typically, like Royal Oak has always been like the most sought after location, just because it's like a center point to every area, whether you go to the airport or whether you go to work. And the east side or the west side, it's just in the middle of everything you need to be in. Bloomfield, Birmingham market still performing very well. Unfortunately, for my builder clients right now, it's a little bit tougher, just because the prices are extremely high. Will hopefully be corrected soon, so people can start planning versus execution on their dream homes, whatever they want to build. So I got a good amount of clients building right now too, but at the same time, some of them don't care about the lumber prices. So the ones who are just entering that phase right now are holding off until that gets corrected for sure. But realistically, my area of where I sell the most is I'm very thankful to be in this area, because it is one of the most sought after locations. And of course, my office is a footprint in downtown Birmingham. So, we're getting a lot of opportunities to just expand different.
Yeah, man. That's really awesome, dude. That's really awesome. Sal, do you see What is your prediction for 21? Let's just do the first quarter. Do you see because look, Royal Oak, to your point, Sheel, Royal Oak, and all these areas are walkable cities, right?
Mm-hmm.
And part of what I thought was maybe going to happen after people wanted land and they were going to move out to the exurbs, right? But actually, demand is still very, very high in these areas. Would you agree?
Yeah, I mean, I think that especially being locked down in home, right? Like people, especially if you're not like a good cook, like think about like the locations around here, like the takeout and all that. I mean, like, living up in like Oxford or something, right? Where, hey, it's nice, your money goes far, you get a nice big house, but there's not shit up there. After 4 p.m. you better bust out the pans and start
the hibachi, bro. Yeah.
So also, probably I've had 9 clients in the last year move from Detroit, outside of Detroit, whether they're living in a high-rise condo or renting downtown, to move in the Woodward district.
Really? Because that was the opposite a few years ago. People were moving down from the Woodward district.
It's closed downtown at this time, unfortunately. And I know a lot of companies, I don't know the dates, but I know that some of them actually expanded when they're going to reopen and allow people to come back. I think the arena is one of the few that actually now have a few companies back in there. But besides them, Metro Detroit is very quiet at this time, it seems like.
Ghost town, really, because the downtown Detroit is built off of the Quicken and the businesses that are down there and the bustling, people spending money. But when you got one of the biggest lenders in the country telling people not to come into the office, and they basically they churn downtown Detroit's economy over because they're making money and spending money there. Now those people aren't doing that. Now they're spending them in their local markets. What's funny about this whole thing? There are definite winners and losers in every sector. The ones that were able to adapt to the new markets are going to be great. Like having your business set up for DoorDash and Grubhub, like those companies are doing really well. Like I know the people that do really good, Grubhub and DoorDash. I know the ones that suck at it, and I don't call the ones that suck at it, right?
Right.
Because your food gets there, they're using bad packaging and it's all soggy and you're not eating it, right? But the ones that do, like I'll give you an example, like Red Robin. Their packaging is like vented, so the things aren't, they thought about it to actually have a good product to send over to home. So it'll be interesting to see. I do believe that the appetite for large crowds is still going to be diminished, especially in the older community. I think people that are like 50 and older you're not going to see them out as much as you did in the past. Now the younger generation, they can't wait to go out. I think we're going to have massive baby boom after this, bro. I think people are horny, and I think people are going to have like sex all over the place. I really think we're going to have a baby boom after this. I really do.
It's possible.
Did you just say I think people are going to have sex all over the place?
Yeah.
Okay. I thought I heard that right.
All over the place.
So you got to create stress-free environments in the house because everyone's office is now centrally located at home, and people are house hunting because they need more space.
Yes.
Oh. It's definitely it's interesting to see that I sold a house 6 months ago to someone. They called me. They need more space because she wants the husband to move to the basement, and they need a finished basement now.
Yeah, and then think about how many people are at home and just smashing and just making babies right now.
I was going back to the work effect, but yeah.
Sheel's very uncomfortable with the smashing talk.
No,
no, but that's what our world, for better or worse, because of this event, there will be changes, deep changes to, like, it changed the trajectory of our world quite a bit in a lot of different directions. And I don't think you could undo all that. There's going to be residual everything, right? There's going to be residual people not going out. There's going to be residual people still wearing masks. I guarantee you masks are still going to be a thing. People are going to wear them no matter what. It's not going to go back to, hey, let's just walk down the street together, hold hands, and walk into a place, walk into a whole bunch of restaurants. People are still going to be a little leery until this thing is gone, I think, like completely gone. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with that.
Everyone is definitely trying to get out and about, whether it's leave the state or just whatever the case is, because at one point you couldn't go anywhere. Now you can somewhat move around a little bit more. Like, our office is open, but we are wearing masks when you're not in your own space. You have to wear a mask.
Yeah.
So that's become, to me, a complete normal. I have no problem with wearing a mask. Especially
normal.
If someone really more comfortable being next to them. Even at the resort I was in, like, for example, in Mexico, masks were enforced and people were still scared to be around other people. So thankful for a vaccine, but I think this will correlate to our market very heavily in the next.
Yeah, I agree, and I think you're right. The mask isn't about you; it's about the other people around you. So I appreciate you saying that because that always gets me. Sheel, let's do 3 questions. You ready for that?
Sure.
You're like, yeah, isn't that what we're doing? We're doing questions, right? Sal, Brad, do you guys have any questions for Sheel for 3 questions?
Man, you're putting me on the spot.
All right, I'll start. Sheel, if you could be any, did we do this with you, the animal kingdom one last time? No. If you could be any animal in the animal kingdom, what would it be and why?
What would it be?
Mm-hmm.
I'm definitely right now feeding to whales. I saw some whales in the ocean, so the way these guys move are insane, and they're just it's one of the scariest things you can see up close. So realistically, it's just like when you're in that water, the king of the ocean.
Yeah, I mean, like killer whales for me are like the wolves of the water, right? They hunt in packs. They're massive. They eat sharks. That would be sweet.
Where I was, the tide was really strong, so they wouldn't really let you in the water. But there was a pro swimmer there. This guy literally swam around the whole resort, which is huge, and I saw whales next to him. So I'm very, very concerned for his well-being. And then I felt bad for the hotel employee who had to do the paddle boat because he has to legally follow the paddle boat throughout the whole resort.
Oh man!
Oh no way!
Once one slams, that just goes down the water.
Oh wow! And
were they
popping out of the water?
Yeah. That's if you go on my TikTok, you'll see that.
They were like huge whales.
Yeah,
like in Mexico.
In Mexico, yeah. The whale watching high season is December and January. That's what it is.
Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know that whales went through that area. That's interesting.
Yeah,
I thought it was like I thought you had to go like Alaska or somewhere else.
Like
that's where they spot like the whales.
No, whales went through that area, dude.
What?
It's the ocean. There's whales.
Really? Are there whales in the Gulf of Mexico?
Not in the Gulf.
I'm sure there are. It's the ocean.
That's not specific, so.
Yeah,
right. But there's no whales in the Gulf of Mexico. They don't go everywhere, bro. They like cold water, I think, don't they? Like colder waters. Wait, you think there's whales everywhere? Maybe there's a version of a whale, but I don't think you got blue whales in the Gulf of Mexico, bro.
No.
Or humpbacks. No?
Maybe. Oh. It's the ocean. There's probably gonna be whales.
We can Google that.
Hey, Brad, why are you trying to become a whale?
What?
Sorry.
Man.
So
if you could
go ahead.
If you could be one like a fly on the wall in one moment in time, right? What would that be? Like
fly on the wall.
Yeah, basically like, be witness to like some event in history, right?
Or invisible in the room where you could be there. Like, you know what I mean? Like you could actually like experience this event and understand what's happening. A fly, maybe your brain wouldn't comprehend.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah. That's a good question. It really is. I mean, there's a lot of historical moments I wish I could see firsthand. But coming up to me would be just really seeing the January 1st, 2019 or 2020 when the year started off, right?
Yeah, you want to go back to that every time. You're like, yeah, let's do that.
Trading tips real quick.
Yeah.
That
are you
vaccine?
Sheel, we have one more question for 3 questions, but I want to ask you this. I forgot to ask you. Are you looking to I know you're doing your thing right now. You're doing really well as a real estate agent. Are you looking to grow your team? What is? Or are you just going to be like, I'm just going to bang it out because this is what I like to do?
Yeah. So I have put a lot of focus on generally expanding to a team now. My first 2.5, 3 years, I was independent. I still technically am an individual realtor. I have 2 admins and someone who's a transaction coordinator, so it helped me out a lot. But like, if I want to pass my 30 million mark of last year, like I gotta really step it up and figure out I can't do everything by myself.
Right.
So, in conclusion to that, because I'm double booked on the weekend somehow, so I'm definitely looking for what I call experienced realtors. So
yeah. I was gonna ask you that because you can't really grow sometimes unless you get help because you sometimes you hit that ceiling. 30 million is a lot.
Yeah, I haven't heard past 30 million, unfortunately, as an individual. Even people who are now broker owners of other people, so
it's a big number to hit for sure.
Yeah. The number this year is 45. So
Sal hit 45, right?
It's a great number.
Sal, you did 49.
So it's a little different when you're not out on the street showing.
It is, yes. We're pushing paper sometimes, and I know, yeah. But it's still it's a big number both ways, right? So that's really good for both of you guys. All right, last question for the 3 questions. If you could be one human, past or present, for a week, who would it be and why?
Elon.
Elon. Elon.
I'm sure you guys hear that often a lot. It's just really because he's in a position right now where I think everything's totally digital, and his business plan that he has operations is not just cars. It's way more than that.
He's got the Boring Company. He's got SpaceX.
Yeah.
I think it's befuddling how he can manage all that. Like we're talking space exploration. We're talking. He's got the Hyperloop he's working on.
Different companies, like legit different enterprises. Where you look at Bezos, like his Amazon platform he's just growing inside his own little pocket. Like you can buy Amazon clothes on it, which is great, and you can buy Amazon products. Just how like Kirkland, you can buy that at Costco. It's a great effect, but someone who literally dips his toes in a lot of different things. That's how I personally look at myself. That's someone who operates on a day-to-day basis.
But he's not just dipping his toes and doing it like Bezos is like doing things differently. I get it, but he's changing the game in everything he goes into. Right.
So he's not a competitor you want for sure, and that's how we're seeing.
No, I wouldn't want to go up against him. Hopefully he never does mortgages. He'd fuck us.
Well, it's gonna happen.
Fucking digital mortgage right off the bat.
Mortgages will be done on the blockchain, and we'll be out of business.
It's gonna happen. You're gonna go to Amazon. You're gonna find houses on Amazon. You're gonna get a mortgage on Amazon. Amazon's gonna take over the whole world. Everything.
My buddy got a job at Amazon before the shutdown, and I told him he hit the fucking lottery because he's literally Amazon's gonna rule the world based on their shipping, right? After COVID, think about Amazon. They're like, yes, shut it down now, and we will deliver everything to you. But the delivery thing isn't gonna end. People got used to it now too, right? That's another thing. We get everything delivered, our groceries, everything's fucking delivered, everything. Why would you leave your house if you don't have to? Now you can just spend that time doing something else.
Amazon used to use FedEx UPS for all their deliveries. Now I see more Amazon delivery vans than I see FedEx, UPS, and mail trucks. They went into shipping. They took over this fleet of vans, and it's wild. Everything they go into is just dominating.
Yeah, it's a good thing. Like as a consumer, be able to receive it that way. I feel really, really bad about my small business friends because they're just getting overtaken by this company that has too much weight going on with them. So
they got to adapt, man. They really have to adapt. They have to find a way to adapt. It's tough.
Sean's all my small businesses. I really hope they can overturn and make this hopefully a profitable year. Just coming from the last year.
Yep. Yeah. Small businesses, but I do think if they survive coming out of the other end of this because of the demand, they're going to be all right. They just need to survive through it. That's it. And anybody out there that has a small business, our hearts do go out to you because we're a small business and we know it. We thought we were going to go out of business for a second, and that wasn't easy to swallow. And nothing's guaranteed. Nothing's guaranteed. Sheel, you want to do a great year, but nothing's guaranteed, right?
Right, that's right.
You know what I mean? So just count your blessings for what you have and keep working and move forward every day and make incremental movements forward, and you'll be fine. But man, there are a lot of people that were affected. Unfortunately, we talk about the bright side of this. There's a dark side. You know what I mean? There's definitely a dark side, but I think the ones that are smart that deserve to be in that position will end up being in that position. Because what happens is, Sheel, unfortunately, when it becomes so easy to make money in a market, then you have people that don't deserve to be in the market. Does that make sense? Like some small business owners shouldn't be small business owners because they're just not really, they're not with it to that point. But because there's an abundance of business, they could suck and still make money. Does that make sense? And I'm not saying all small businesses suck. I'm just saying there's going to be a shakeout, and whoever's left is going to be like, okay, these guys, they're solid, right?
Right.
So.
Right.
Sheel, anything else you want to talk about before we let you go, man?
No, I appreciate it. I mean, we got a lot of stuff mentioned already, but for everyone listening, just work like there's no tomorrow. Just end on that.
Yeah.
Realistically, that's how the situation is. So
agreed.
Connect with me directly. You definitely can find me on TikTok, or you can just reach out to me personally.
I was just gonna say, how can people find you, bro? But he's TikTok. He's TikTok famous people. Get him on TikTok.
Yeah. So. TikTok, Instagram, whatever you guys want to do to connect, that's fine. I'm consistently on my phone 24/7, so it makes sense for us to, even if it's a text, doesn't make a difference to me. But this is the year to definitely work together with every business, like in any way, shape, or form you can, especially if it's other realtors with other realtors or me with mortgage companies and etc.
I'm so happy you said that, man, because I had just networking in general is such an underutilized thing. Like you should know everybody. Get to know everybody, bro. Who cares if you do business with them or not? Talk to them, shake their hand. People, we should really start coming together now, man. Like we all experience something pretty traumatic together, so we should all feel like we're connected. But what's happening,
like especially like on the mortgage side, right? Like when it comes to agents, like if you see someone close a deal with, another mortgage guy, like people get pissed off. It's like, why? I mean, there's an abundance of business out there, right? There's no reason to get out, rub the wrong way. But two, like, yeah, you got to network. Like I when I talk to agents, I'm like, dude, you should have like 3 or 4 people for niche situations, right? First time buyers, right? Or someone who's going to really take the time. This guy, right? A guy who just discounts the deals, they go there, right? Someone who does Vista, they go there, right? Like you need to have like a big network, right? And that way you can service the client the best way.
Well, that's it. Sheel, think about how important your network is, right? Your client says, I need X. And you're like, I got your guy.
Right. Yeah. Dude, I actually have a connect. I like to generate as many connections as possible. So I can help them, whether they need to buy a price and buy a place in Miami, or they need to get a certain type of watch. Like I will be your guy for that. So they call the plug.
You're the plug, bro. That's amazing, bro. Hey, listen, man. Sheel, thank you so much. Keep doing what you're doing, man. We really appreciate you a lot. I do feel like 21 is going to be a great year, and I do feel like the only thing that's missing is for all of us to come together and kind of like understand that we're all cut from the same cloth and we all had the same experience. Shut the fuck up and let's live our lives and be happy and stop storming shit. That's what I'm thinking, right? So, Sheel, thank you so much, man. I appreciate you. We'll talk to you on the other side, man.
All right. Thanks a lot, guys.
Thanks, man.
Thanks.
You've been listening to Inside Real Estate, the nation's top real estate podcast. Don't forget to follow us at irepodcast.com and everywhere where podcasts are available.